Good evening, everybody. I'm Mystery Matt, and you're listening to the Mystery Matt Spotlight Podcast. Sarah's already losing her shit, so this ought to be good. This evening, we are going to be discussing Christmas movies and Christmas specials, our favorites, and some of the ones we really don't like.
And ones that don't classify as either.
Debatable.
Maybe.
Anyways, this...
I'm always right.
Well, with Sarah and I tonight, we have Peter, who has a popsicle. Peter has a popsicle. Say hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Good boy.
And no, none of us are drunk this time.
Nope, just high as hell. Anyways.
Not me. I have to work.
Where were we? Yeah.
Well, why don't we talk about the Christmas special we watched this week? The Rockettes.
Yeah, I guess that's considered a Christmas special.
Yeah, because it's a tradition, right?
Yeah.
It takes place every year. They do the 2-hour-long Christmas special on, I think it's NBC, where they light the tree at Rockefeller Center. And at the beginning of the show, they always have the Rockettes, and I think they close the show, too.
Yeah.
But all the musical stuff in between is shit.
I was actually really surprised to see that the Rockettes were still a thing that was going on. I'm like,
yeah.
Holy crap, that's still a thing. All right, cool. I'm down with that.
It was really cool. It's just a total side note. When I was in New York, we actually went to the Rockette Theater, right? And you can actually get a tour of the Rockette Theater with a Rockette. Right? It was pretty awesome.
Oh, that would be neat. Yeah. I didn't know that. Although that's something to add to my New York City bucket list is to see the Rockettes.
That would be all right.
Yeah, because I had my bucket list for New York City, and I never thought of that. But I would actually, let's just say, no pun intended, I would get a kick out of that.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha
ha.
ha.
And I was educated on the difference between the can and the high kick. Or was it?
Yeah.
No, kick line.
Kick line, yeah.
That's what you called it. Yeah. So, yeah, apparently there's a bend in the knee in the can, and there's not in the kick line, necessarily. There can be, but...
Well, that's just my education from watching both.
Yeah.
You see the can more like the French burlesque type shows, like aka Moulin Rouge. They are more likely to do the can where it's lift up the leg, bend it, put it down, and then lift it up straight.
Yeah.
Where the kick line is they just go straight
kick
back and forth in succession.
Yeah.
Both are incredible to watch, but
yeah, especially with the synchronicity.
Oh, that's why they're incredible to watch.
Said it first shot.
Yay!
Yes. Big word of the day, synchronicity.
And you said it twice in a row.
Double your pleasure. Oh, see, Peter, now you're in my head. So since we're doing specials, we have to address the many clay stop motion old-timey Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Reindeer?
Reindeer. Oh, yeah.
Red deer,
I get the other word.
Alberta.
Reindeer?
Red deer.
Oh, red deer.
Yeah.
I got to pull that out of the background too. Peter's bad.
You're talking the Rankin stuff.
Is that what it's called?
Well,
Rankin?
It's who published it. Yeah.
Oh.
Rankin Productions or whatever.
Like Jack Frost, like they have the Jack Frost Santa Claus is coming to town, all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's kind of like looks like it's made with really cheap toys.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's all the claymation, stop motion, whatever.
I know
thing that.
our friend Stephanie's gonna hate me for saying this, but I've never liked that kind of animation.
Oh, I've always loved it.
It freaks me out.
It did freak me out.
It still freaks me out
at first, but like now it's just tradition.
Yeah.
It is tradition.
I see Steph has her collection of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stuff, particularly from that special. And I think the stuff is cute, don't get me wrong, but the show itself has always creeped me out.
But think of how many generations you can look at and go, Heat Miser, and they know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but I think the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is from like the 40s or 50s.
Something like that.
Yeah. Original Rudolph.
She's looking it up for everybody at home.
I'm looking it up. See, it doesn't say. Just
so
here's how to buy it.
What about filmology for Burl Ives?
Oh, Burl Ives. I love Burl Ives. But that's a totally different podcast. It's talking about Christmas music and where it's originated from, right?
He's the main narrator for the Rankin Scott. That's what it is.
Rankin Bass.
Rankin Bass. Bing, 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 bing.
And it was originated by NBC Universal Syndication Studios. Oh, it first aired Sunday, December 6th, 1964.
1964.
But
Nice.
the poem was written in 1939
Oh,
by
probably.
Robert L. May.
There you go. So in those specials, how many were there?
I don't remember.
Well,
There was,
That's the biggest one. There was Santa Claus Comes to Town.
yeah, and there was Rudolph.
Yeah, and then there was, wait, hang
Heat
on.
Miser and Cold Miser from Blue Christmas, aren't they?
No, I think that is from
Santa Claus? Or Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
Crap, hang on. I'm looking stuff
She's
up.
looking.
And it's so small. I think it's from Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's at least the two. Was the original Frosty done that way?
No, that was more animated.
That was more
That was
animated,
going back
right?
into your animation. I think that was late 70s, early 80s even.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was kind of drawn like in that style from that era, those eras.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was that
Because I got crop dusted the other night.
Oh, so was that his necklace on the ground that made the sound, or was that his butt?
It might have been his butt.
Okay. I just asked Matt.
Peter brought the dog.
I just asked Matt if he farted silently, and like not silently, but
No.
like
Yeah. Facially?
yeah, Lucy is.
She kind of is.
Our cat is giving her daddy a look of disdain.
What did you do?
Not as bad as what Alexa gave me the other night through the window for just simply taking the garbage out.
Yeah. What other kind of specials do we remember as kids? Anything?
Well,
they used to have.
but what about the question? Okay, so between us all, of the kids' shows that we all remember, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty Snowman, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, which one do we like? Which is our fave?
Well, if I'm gonna go with absolute classics like prior to 1980s, I'm going with the original Dr. Seuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You know, the animated one that's on for half an hour. That one is by far the best Grinch out there.
I've always loved The Grinch. So, yeah, it would be my number one as well.
I'm looking at the book on our table right now.
The Grinch is good. I always remembered it being longer, and that was before the movies came out. Like, I remember the original one being longer. It might have been just because I was a kid then and time was slower.
I think when you see it on TV, they've cut the commercial limits to be shorter because the movie or the show itself is probably about 26 minutes. So I
Yeah.
think you only get limited commercials. But I think the actual show itself is probably just a little under half an hour.
Yeah.
Whereas most half an hour stuff is about 20 minutes, 22 minutes.
I did like Rudolph, but I also like the Garfield Christmas special.
That would be
where they
after
go and see
80s, yeah.
Grandma and Doc Boy and Pops. And
Oh, yeah. I love that one too. I think that one is one of my favorites. But
there's
that
hair
one came
on my microphone.
That one came after 1980 though.
I'm not asking.
Well, it wasn't curly, so we're safe that way. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a spotlight if it didn't go south.
That's right.
What other ones? Well, pretty much every TV show has had a special. The Simpsons have had probably like 100 Christmas episodes.
They were Christmas, but I think they were more Halloween though, not so much. I don't remember
Well,
very
they
many
were-
Christmas ones.
And
They focus more on Halloween than Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's one of those big questions because there's been a move in a lot of modern television away from emphasizing religious as opposed to. So Halloween is a safer one that way for showing yourselves being non secular or whatever the word
Yeah. I know my favorite ones that I watch every year in terms of like television show in syndication for Christmas. I watched WKRP. They had, I think, 2 or 3 Christmas episodes. But I also watch it in conjunction with the traditional Thanksgiving one where the turkeys were thrown out of the plane and Mr. Carlson at the end goes, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. That episode is the best TV episode ever to make it on television in the entire industry. Because it still, to this day, makes me laugh so hard I almost pee myself. So I watched that one and then I watched the WKRP Christmas ones and I think there's about 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those ones are my go-tos for Christmas TV shows. For like your regular TV is the WKRP.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch the OC because they had some good Christmas ones, which they actually combined Christmas with Hanukkah and made Chrismica, which is 7 days of little gifts followed by one day full of many, many gifts.
Oh, God, that's expensive.
Yeah. But it's combining the two religions, right? For a religion, dual religion household, which I thought was really good. And since River learned about harmonicas this week, that's what she called it. She learned about Hanukkah this week. I taught her about Chrismica. So yeah.
On my list, I actually have 8 Crazy Nights. So since we're bringing it up, I might as well get that off my list. You know, we like to include everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, Hanukkah, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Actually, I had a gentleman come into the store the other day, and he was from India. I'm like, do you celebrate Diwali?
Because isn't that their Christmas?
Yeah, in a way, it's kind of like a Christmas, New Year's kind of all in one,
Yeah.
I was told. So, and he's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, well, happy belated Diwali. And he was really appreciative. Like, I try to include everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care what your religion is. If you can help me understand which ones you celebrate, I can try and remember those so that I can, you know,
Give it back.
You know, share their love.
Yeah, and if somebody says Happy Hanukkah to me, I'm not going to be offended even though I'm not Jewish.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be like, you know what? Happy Hanukkah to you too, buddy. You know?
Yeah, Joyeux Noel, Happy Hanukkah.
Have a great Hanukkah.
Happy
Enjoy
Diwali.
your 8 days.
Happy Chinese New Year, everything. You
Yeah.
know, we don't care over here. We love them all.
Yeah. I mean, we ourselves are not religious people.
Not particularly.
Well, my family is not. But we celebrate Christmas because, well, we're pagans. But
I went to church when I was younger with my parents and stuff like that. And then when I was in my teens, I went to a youth group or whatever, which is just the hip church, I guess.
Hip Bible studies for younger kids.
Yeah. Since then, I haven't really gone to church a whole lot. You know, I might believe in something bigger than myself, but I'm not sure if I would call that thing a god.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's only been, like 400 years since Jesus was around? I think we might have gotten 2,000 years. Okay, good.
Yeah, you're a little behind there, buddy.
Peter knows because he was there. Oh!
Somebody's got his Christmas dick pants on now.
Christmas dick pants.
Look, they got candy canes all over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You can take a lick on that peppermint stick.
Yeah. Okay, I hope there's Rudolph there.
That goes, what we just talked about went more towards traditions and Halloween or Christmas specials. See, I don't even know what fucking holiday we're talking about. It's only my holiday.
Do you guys remember the series of movies, The Santa Claus, with, what was it, Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Loved those.
I only really remember seeing the first two.
Well, it was...
And I don't make those, they're not my go-to every year. I barely watch them now.
And Tim Allen was in like the first two, and then there was other people taking his role, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many he actually made, but there's like, I think 4. I don't know. Not my go-to either. Right.
They were good the first time, but I don't watch them.
Yeah, the first 2 usually are good. After that, it kind of gets overplayed.
Yeah.
You know, let those first 2 become classics, and you know. Okay, this is getting weird.
You have a pet pile going on behind you guys.
Fur pile. Hi, doggy. Dog is on the couch. Kitty's an inch away. This is good times. Oh, no. The Ghostbusters prophecy. Dogs and cats living together.
All right.
Speaking of dogs and cats living together, I put the question out on Facebook to see what movies were during Christmas time, but not actually Christmas movies. And someone had said Ghostbusters 2. Hold on, I'm just looking it up to see who said that.
You should have been prepared before you started recording, dumbass.
Yeah, I was going to have it open, but then I forgot it.
Typical. So dead air time.
No, just keep talking. That's your job.
Speaking in that same venue, is not Christmas through New Year's, especially in the United States, one of the high points for horror films?
For what?
Horror films.
I guess so, because I guess you could talk about Krampus, right?
Well, yeah.
Krampus came out, 2-3 years ago?
Dan Pollock?
Yeah.
Do we know him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said Ghostbusters too. I don't remember much Christmas in that, but I was so into the Ghostbusters I might not have seen the Christmas.
A lot of the times you'll see Christmas in the background of a
Yeah.
movie. Like, that's why I put Jurassic World on there, because at the beginning of the movie, they have like the Christmas lights up on the house and stuff like that. And that before they sent the 2 kids off to the island to be with their aunt, and all hell breaks loose, because we didn't see that coming. That's why I put that down, because I'm like, hey, there's Christmas in the background, but it doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie. So that's why I put that one down on your list there.
Our friend Ashley said serendipity.
Serendipity. Not serpentipity.
God, I might
That's
need
a whole
glasses.
different movie.
Yeah, well, I might need glasses. Who knew?
No, you need to learn how to read good.
Yeah. Good
Zoolander.
times. Learn to read good. Or I could just zoom in. Does that make it bigger? That
No,
screws
it doesn't.
things
It
up.
screws things up.
What is her group on?
So our friend Ashley can be found on Facebook under her art group called Artsy with Ashley. Or Artsy Ashley. Now I can't remember. I just had it open.
Now you gotta look stuff
it's
up.
still up. Oh no, it's
okay.
reset it itself.
Reset it.
Yeah, it's Artsy with Ashley. Capital A, capital R, capital T, small s, small y with Ashley. And you can check out her stuff. She posts a lot of neat art stuff on there. Plus, she also teaches paint with art. Obviously, like paint nights with Ashley, but they have been on hold for a while because of the pandemic.
She's got links to everything on her group page.
She's on her group page that we just mentioned. She's got a lot of different art projects that she shows what other people have done, and she's got like pictures from when she was doing her paint nights.
Yeah.
She's just got some incredible ideas there for crafts and art.
Yeah.
So I would check her out.
I would definitely check her out. I've seen some of the paintings she's come up with.
Yeah. Not only that, she's a very beautiful soul.
And, well, even some of the jewelry she made with the paper
Glitzy
beads.
beetle,
those were so cool.
Yeah.
And solid. Like those.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Yeah.
I love those bracelets.
Yeah, those things aren't.
I don't wear them very often
anytime
because I'm so
soon.
petrified of getting them snagged on something.
So, yeah, you guys check it out. Also, you may have noticed that there's no more commercials on the podcast. It took me about an hour and a half to remove them all. Since we are in Canada, we do not make any revenue from the host read commercials. So I said, well, then why am I playing them? I don't need to burden people with commercials if they don't need to be there. However, I am in the mix of setting up a Buy Me a Coffee account. So if you guys want to support me later on down the road, I'll figure out how to let you guys know about that once I figure out how the heck it works. Anyways, one of my favorites for Christmas movies is The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes, I know that's your favorite.
Yeah. My parents, as you know, divorced when I was about 8 or 9 or so. I'm pretty sure it was 8. Might have been almost 9. Who knows? Not important. But I went one Christmas to spend with my dad, and because he worked out of town, he didn't have a place in town. So my Aunt Sharon let us stay at her place because she had this huge house and all this kind of stuff. And, I think she was even out of town for the weekend, so she wasn't going to be using the house. So anyways, we stayed there, and that was the first time I seen that movie. And it really reminds me of, even though the entire family's not together anymore, it can still be Christmas with the family you have with you then. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like, that kind of made me learn something. Like, yeah, okay, it's not Christmas with mom and dad. It's just Christmas with dad. However, my brother and my sister are here, and there goes my pen.
Poor
Hand
cat.
talker. It went down that way somewhere.
Lucy, okay? Did you get a pen in your face?
Oh, she's fine. She's been hit with worse.
I kicked her today by accident.
She's fine.
She's fine.
So yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol has always stuck with me since that Christmas, and I've wanted to watch it every year.
I think it sticks with you because you have such a familiarity with it and you have such a connection to it. It was probably your escape during the holiday season from some of the upsettingness of the divorce, which is how I use wrestling, right?
Yeah, but you don't understand. My Aunt Sharon was a babysitter full time, and she always had toys that were donated. So she had like the best Ghostbuster toys. She had like all the Ninja Turtles. Like, you didn't. She even had Captain Bucky O'Hare figures. I know a lot of people at home might not understand that, but a lot of people out there might.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted to play with toys that were awesome and weren't yours, you wanted to go to Aunt Sharon's place.
I kind of want to go to Aunt Sharon's place now.
Oh,
And I
you
wish I
and me
could.
both.
But yeah,
they departed long ago.
I know. But
God, almost 30 years. Oh,
what was I
crap.
gonna say? Yeah, I think that's why you have that seasonal connection to that movie, because that was the movie you saw during a hard time for you during the season.
Yeah.
And somebody who comes from a house who's not riddled with divorce or
Yeah,
strife,
and Aunt Sharon being gone.
you know, I have my connections to different movies for different reasons, maybe happier reasons.
Yeah.
But there's not saying that movie isn't happiness, because it did bring you happiness.
Aunt Sharon's place was awesome. She had carpet on the walls.
Carpet on the walls.
It's kind of a weird thing because I guess we all have different reasons for the movies that we like. Like for me, every year I watch Bill Murray's Scrooged. And I know that the reason I do is because I was raised on A Christmas Carol my entire life. If you go to my parents' house, right, you will see on Christmas Eve the original Alistair Sims version, which I was raised on, right? And although it was a great movie and everything, it was like, for me, that was my grandparents' kind of movie, right? It was the old people's movie. So when Bill Murray made Scrooged, suddenly it all made sense, and it was refocused into, my 20-something idea of it being in the 80s. So it worked, and it fit for a description of that type of feeling, that Christmas feeling, which is, that we can do that little bit extra to have Christmas all year round. That was what Dickens was saying in A Christmas Carol, but Bill Murray just spoke to me and got that message out this generation.
I think for you, it was probably like, okay, this is the anti-Christmas Carol, Christmas Carol.
Yeah, exactly that. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, because it had all the elements of Christmas Carol, but it was very anti-Christmas Carol. It was almost mocking it. I actually enjoy that movie too. Is it Carol Kane who plays the one fairy or the one ghost? Oh my gosh, she's hilarious. This tiny little voice, and then also she's like beating you with something. I love her.
So a friend of ours, Curtis, he said Home Alone. I would debate that being more of a Christmas movie and not Christmas is just happening in the background. I would say that's a Christmas movie because both of them land on Christmas.
Oh yeah,
both of the ones that count.
Yeah, the only two that count. Yes,
there's like 5 of them.
Home Alone is a Christmas movie. It was released at Christmas, meant to be a Christmas movie, and yeah, there's a different premise, but you can't always have a Christmas movie that's solely focused around Christmas.
But it is focused around Christmas.
But
the entire story takes place. The entire plot of the story is that they're traveling to Paris for Christmas or traveling wherever, and he gets left at home.
Yeah.
Right? So in the essence, it's always that, lost child Christmas story.
Yeah. But with more hilarity and shenanigans.
Well, some people argue that.
Well, those people are flakes, and we don't care about them.
Yeah, so I don't think Curtis understood the question. So that's okay, because it still needed to come up at some point, right?
So, do you want me to talk about my favorite Christmas movie?
Can I get through the...
But you guys did your favorite Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
So my favorite Christmas movie is White Christmas with Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, and oh my God, Vera Ellen and Rosemary Clooney, the aunt of George Clooney, for all you newbies out there. White Christmas is a Christmas movie, but it also kind of goes around.
And Bing Crosby is the great uncle of Denise Crosby?
Yeah, from Star Trek.
From Star Trek The Next Generation. So check out that
and I think he was the father
of
David Crosby from Crosby, Stills, and Nash, if I'm not mistaken.
Peter doesn't know.
I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Anyways, White Christmas is one of my favorite movies. It was one of those ones that used to come on. What was that?
That was the microphone.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody farted again.
She's done that at Halloween.
The creek, yeah.
So anyways, White Christmas was one of those movies that while we were gambling on Christmas Eve, it would come on the TV on CH around 8:00, and my brother and I would always stop what we're doing, and we would sing Sisters. Yes, I know how weird that sounds, but if you knew my brother, it would make total sense.
Nowadays, it doesn't sound weird. It's normal.
It's normal for us, but we would sing Sisters, and we would kind of do the little routine, and everybody would laugh at us and stuff. But it was one that came on all the time, and then we'd sit there, and while we're playing cards, we'd sing Snow, 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 and it was just like there's so much family that it just became such a family movie because we all loved it, and it was always part of our Christmas Eve. And now I make it a part of my Christmas month because I watch it like 15 times.
Yeah.
And now our daughter loves it.
It's one of those old folks film again, man. That was Grandma and Grandpa's movie.
But it was singing and dancing, and it was happy, and there was a little bit of, like, trying to make this old man who used to be their general in their war happy again, and, show that he was important.
You're telling me she loves it. She was singing it all day.
I love that movie.
It wasn't on the TV because her got grounded, but yeah.
No, but she loves that movie too.
You know what?
And
I've
that
been
makes
grounded during Christmas time.
Oh, I'm sure I have
You
too
just
multiple
get
times.
so freaking wound up that you just.
I've never been grounded.
You've never been grounded.
I spent most of my childhood
They
grounded.
didn't expect you to live past 5 either, so there's that.
So I think I spent most of my childhood grounded. I probably could count on my hands the weeks that I wasn't grounded from the ages of 4 to 14.
Y'all just have to understand, it's not that I was a saint, right? And it's just, grounding just didn't work for me. A lot of times that my favorite pastime was to hang in my room by myself reading a book. So yeah, go ahead, ground me.
Nerd.
Yeah. I guess that would kind of backfire, wouldn't it? Also, Wilma said Die Hard. And that's been the leading argument that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because there's Christmas going on in the background.
It's not only a Christmas movie because Christmas is going on in the background, but like Home Alone, it's actually part of the plot. Right? The entire crime in the first movie is taking place because it's the Christmas party and no one else is in the building, and they know that. He is there visiting to reconcile because he is visiting for Christmas. If we take the Christmas out of it, there's no reason for him to be there.
But you can't have a Christmas movie where you're blowing people the fuck up. It's
So
not
now-
Christmassy. It's not giving the joy of gift
So now that
or the gift
Peter,
of joy. You're blowing people up. It's not a Christmas movie.
What? You mean the whole thing where Santa and the elves take Christmas and Scrooged wasn't blowing people up?
Technically, but there was at least a response to having some kind of connection to the old movies. This movie is not a Christmas movie, and I will never allow it in my house.
So now that
At
Peter
Christmas time.
has semi proved that Die Hard is now an official Christmas movie.
I want a divorce.
You're not even on the record.
No, I didn't even say anything yet. I didn't even put mine on. So then I raise you Batman Returns.
Not a Christmas movie.
The same thing, though. If you take the Christmas part out of it, it no longer works because the only reason Penguin got sympathy was because it was around Christmas time and everybody was starting to think about the orphans and the lost souls that were just abandoned and oh, poor me. And then he got popular and boom, we have the Penguin and
But
Batman
can we just
Returns.
say that in both movies, Die Hard and Batman Returns, that the whole premise of the movie, they had to have something to make the plot work?
They had...
So they threw Christmas in as a secondary plot to make it work?
They
It's not
did
the
have
forefront plot.
an announcement with a giant Christmas tree on stage.
I think one of the key things, right, for both films is to take a look at their time. And much like Scrooge, which was trying to go, these are the classics, and they're not working anymore. Because, I can't sell them in sequel because, only Sarah's watching them. Sorry, I know a lot more people are watching them, and don't beat me up over that statement. But they're not selling in the big theaters. So what we have to do is we have to bring in other people. And that meant that we had to change how the Christmas story happened. But we're still tying it into the plot. As a matter of fact, the Die Hard movies are so Christmas that they're actually, up to the fourth one, they all take place at Christmas time, and that's purpose. They're all written into that as well.
That's because nobody would see them otherwise. Because who cares about Bruce Willis?
But no, they don't care about Bruce Willis. But
Or the guy who says
the big
the fucking
names do care
cowboy
about how
fucking
many seats they fill in the theater.
Yeah.
So then a friend of mine from high school, I believe he misread the question as well because he said Bad Santa. I'm sorry, if Santa's in the title, that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
You
I've never
know,
seen
how
Bad
do you-
Santa, so I can't comment.
Well, and again, you have to remember that although it's Bad Santa and it's like really hilarious the things that antics he gets into it, it ends with basically him giving up. He's still doing all of his weird stuff and his negative stuff, but at the end he helps the kid because it's Christmas.
I totally sling bladed. Well, the guy who plays in Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Yes, he
was
is.
in Sling Blade. So when Peter was talking, I did the Sling Blade thing where I went,
But that's the key, is that it ends on that note, right? If I would certainly Bad Santa is much more of a Christmas film, right? Than Die Hard, even, because of the fact that it has
I'll give you that.
That whole, I don't know, like, I'm not going to go. But then again, what about that other film? Why, right? The whole BB gun and, like,
A Christmas Story?
That is just, that, in my opinion, is not a Christmas movie.
It is such a Christmas story.
It is just about a dysfunctional family.
But have you never wanted a toy so bad at Christmas that you were willing to do anything possible to get it noticed without coming right out to say it?
No.
Okay, you're weird. But you also read books in your room voluntarily.
Thank you.
I love you anyways, Peter. Anyways, but I remember being that kid who, there was one toy that I really, really wanted, like a bunny. Oh, that bunny. So I wanted a bunny so bad as a kid that I was leaving all these different clues. That I wanted this bunny. I want this bunny. I want a pet bunny. Real bunny, by the way. And I wanted that so bad that I would tell everybody for like years. And then one year my parents got me a bunny. It was a stuffed toy. I was pissed, and I still am to
One
this
of
day.
the weird things that I've always believed in as a kid, and it was really weird, if you wanted it, you weren't going to get it. So if you really wanted it, you had to convince yourself and others that you didn't want it.
So you had to do reverse psychology.
Of course, right? But that doesn't, so that literally means is that I can't even think about it, right? So yeah, everyone had to figure it out, and they were actually pretty good at it most of the time.
But not everybody's like that. So most kids can relate to the fact that you want something so bad. Like say River wanted, let's say last year because we gave her a Switch, but say she wanted a Switch so bad that she would leave all these little clues all over the house for us, and we would just pretend we didn't get it. Like we weren't paying any attention to it. Like just like Ralphie's parents didn't pay any attention to it, or the whole line of "you'll shoot your eye out." And obviously his mom meant it. His dad was the one who came through in the end. And there's always going to be that one parent that might actually defy the other parent just to make their kid happy. I do it every Christmas with Matt, because Matt says go easy this year, and then I never do. Right?
She never does, but she always pulls Christmas together.
I always do. This year I'm not so sure, but we'll find out. But it's relatable as a child, and for me, watching it now, it brings me back to that feeling of, oh, I did get the toy that I really wanted, except for the bunny incident.
I guess the bottom line is that, okay, I'm not going to deny that A Christmas Story is a Christmas story. I am going to state emphatically as a Canadian that it is an American Christmas story and totally Americanized culture over Canadian.
How?
Because it has nothing to do with us in our society. It's all based upon their society. And I know the craving for the toy and the whole thing, but there's just how the entire family operates.
Oh, the family dynamic, yeah, is completely
right,
American.
is American culture. So on that note, right, I have to footnote, because of its impact on Canadian culture, which is just so degrading that it's American touching our beautiful culture. God, am I really being really political here? But sorry, but it's that no, I'm Canadian, right?
He's saying that the American culture is touching our culture, which
right.
is degrading our culture.
And I guess the bottom line of that is that...
So he just pissed off a whole bunch of American listeners.
yeah. Any American listeners are probably really pissed off, but they might listen to it twice and you might get a lot of email. But I have to put it down as probably, for me, number one bottom. Right? To my mind, it is the worst.
See,
Christmas
to me, that's
film.
number 2 for my favorite movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Christmas Story is number 2.
I won't watch it. I'll walk out of the room. It's like that bad to me.
I have...
Okay, so what about crap, I had it. The Christmas with the one with the shitters full.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's number 3 on my list.
Yeah.
Of my favorites.
Okay, yeah. I even made you a dinky car version of their car.
Yeah.
I was into a Gaslands kick and still haven't played the game, but I got the book and a bunch of cars.
And he made a car from the movie with the Christmas tree on top.
Yeah. That was actually fun.
I mean,
I still got to finish painting.
I'm not even sure what the premise of Christmas Vacation is, other than obviously family, because they do have it centered around the family and stuff. And that is, to me, what Christmas is.
And it was supposed to be just a fun comedy, right? And it was never supposed to turn into a classic like it did.
I think if I was to give it a title, it's a farce.
Yeah,
right? It's a beautiful farce and a well-written farce.
But it also showed humanity at Christmas time, where you've got the stress of Christmas, you've got the frustrations that come along with it, dealing with family, dealing with your in-laws.
Well, it was supposed to be showing everything that could possibly going wrong, and then Christmas still working out anyway.
Because at the end they were all happy, despite the fact that his house blew up, his Christmas tree was on fire, and his cat got.
Hasn't there been every Christmas my entire life? Because that's pretty much how Christmas runs, right? You know, is that everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. But the end result is the fact that you're sitting around the table with the people you love.
Yeah.
Not anything else but that.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I go my best and favorite Christmas of my entire life, it's the Christmas after the fire. Right? Literally, the fire took place in the house in about the second week of December. All of the Christmas presents had been bought. They went up in smoke too. Right? We moved into the back of my dad's office, right? Christmas dinner was brought in by his secretary, who cooked an extra turkey just for us, right? And the gifts were like weird things that they could really buy at the gas station type thing. Like my sister's got hair dryers and stuff like that, but never before had we been closer as a family.
Yeah,
was when we had nothing and everything had gone wrong.
Yeah,
so that's the beauty of that film. Right?
Yeah.
And the beauty of a lot of films.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess
I think that's also the premise of Home Alone. Things went wrong. Yeah. But at the end, they ended up being together. Yeah. You know? And same with Christmas Story. Like things may have not always been good with the family dynamic up at the front, but at the end, they were happy. And because their Christmas dinner got ruined, they managed to make it work by going to the Chinese restaurant and having, a Christmas duck or Chinese duck for Christmas, So it is all about family.
Now, that is just the scary part about Krampus, though, isn't it? Right? It's the fact that everything does fall apart at Christmas, and it can't be put back together because of the one wish. All right? Because
we'll get into Krampus. We might do it later.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it, so that probably means I have to watch it before we get into it.
Or at least look up...
look it up. Look up the lore. I'd rather look up the lore, because then I can go off that, and then you guys can go off the movie.
The lore is... Oh, man. Even if you get one of the creepypasta guys on YouTube to tell it to you, it's
I prefer to
so
read
crazy.
than watch YouTube videos.
But, yeah. Anyway. Hold on. I got more on this list.
So the movie Just Friends is taking place at Christmas time, but it's about a guy who
is it?
Yeah, it's about a guy who was fat, in love with his skinny girl, that his friend who's a girl. He gets all like svelte and stuff, and
well, you
hot.
also said Love Actually.
Love Actually, I can't remember, but to me, everybody's like, "Oh, that's such a Christmas movie. I love that. Let's watch this." I'm like, I don't think it's that much of a Christmas movie, but I can't really comment on because
two people said Die Hard in the row, so they're clearly not opening up the comments before commenting. They're just using the box.
Yeah.
A unique one. Giga said Gremlins. Giga was briefly on the interview with Alex, the art director.
Yeah, I've never seen Gremlins. So.
You've never seen Gremlins? Oh, get her.
If I have seen it, it was a long time ago when I was really small, and I don't really remember.
Again, it's one of those beautiful Christmas movies in the fact that everything goes wrong, but as a family they're together, right? And the only people, there's a beautiful morality, it seems, in Christmas films that the evil people get their just desserts and the good people whatever, right? And the fear is to being that evil person as opposed to the good person you think you are.
We are talking about all these films that have the exact premise of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, where he's all like blah 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 and he's stealing Christmas away, but actually in the end it tells you what Christmas is really about.
Well,
it's about being together with the people you love, and that's about all these movies are showing you. Even White Christmas, because they may not be a family, but they brought together their former generals, like military, like their army family from the World War II, to show that he's still loved and needed and appreciated. So it is about being with the people that you care about the most, and it is about the ones that you love. It's not about religion. I'm sorry, it's not.
There was one from Stu. He had an interesting one, and I'm glad he wrote down some stuff to back his claim up. It's a Wonderful Life.
I hate that movie.
It was never intended to be a Christmas movie. In fact, it was a summer blockbuster release. So there's something different for you.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it ends at Christmas.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that movie in general. Yes, it ends with them coming together at Christmas, but I just found it so fucking depressing.
Well, but again, not a Christmas movie, but a movie that in and of itself, the basic storyline is that as hard as anything get, those who love you is who you want to be around.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that, you end it on the day where you're supposed to feel that way is probably correct for the storyline. But I think it points out a huge thing about Christmas and Christmas dates. There's a lot of different ways that people want to hear this story, although it may be the same story, right? You have to tell it multiple different ways to make sure everyone is hearing it, because not everyone's going to get it from A White Christmas or from Scrooge or from the Muppets, right? But if I make all those 3 movies plus all of these other ones that we've, panned, right, then someone else is hearing it with their ear, that voice.
Well, for example, you have Ernest Saves Christmas, but then after that, everybody else saves Christmas, because they always use that title, like the Ninja Turtles Save Christmas. Or,
like for TV specials and stuff like that.
TV specials.
Yeah, there's always something around that.
Yeah.
You know what movie doesn't focus necessarily around the family togetherness is Miracle on 34th Street. Miracle on 34th Street is about believing in Santa and having a community come together for a man who believes he's Santa Claus, and he very well could have been. And all indications in the movie says that he was. And it showed that him connecting with this little girl who was raised to be a tiny adult taught her how to become a child and taught her how to believe in things that children believe in. And even eventually was able to have her mother believe in him as well. And while he was on trial about whether or not he was sane or insane because he claimed he was Santa Claus or Kris Kringle, they managed to ignite like the entire city behind this man, and they believed in him. And it was having that not belief in family, but a belief in a certain entity, a certain person, a certain persona, if you will. And it wasn't so much as focused around it, but it did make a family at the end, I guess, in a way, because the lawyer ended up being with the mother and the daughter.
But certainly you are right. And I would argue that there's a lot of Christmas stuff out there that argues the ideal. Mm-hmm. Right? We've talked about the ideal of being surrounded by those you love, but the ideal is that Christmas is a living thing. And I think going right on to the question of Santa Claus, yes, Virginia, right, is probably the best description, right? So from that point of view, that just really, really explains it all, right? And again, it answers that question, right? And it shows that Santa Claus, in and of himself, or it argues, is love.
The one line in Christmas Vacation that sticks with me, and especially is coming out to the forefront of my mind in this, is where Clark Griswold says to, I think it was his cousin, Eddie, that Santa Claus is real. It's just, I'm not sure if he says it to Eddie. I can't remember. But it was like a line, something to the fact where he says Santa Claus is real. It just depends on how you look at him. Yeah. And it could be you yourself, or it could be who you believe in, right?
I can happily tell you that I am 59 years old, and guess what? I still believe in Santa Claus. I don't care what anyone says. And I couldn't envision a world without Santa Claus. So.
I wouldn't want to. I think that's what the fun of having a kid with is, because we get to relive that excitement of Santa.
Yeah.
Because as you get older, you do kind of distance yourself from it. But or dementia. But you know what's great?
Peter's looking forward to that.
No, dementia, but even if Santa isn't a physical entity that's real, there is something there, because sometimes I don't think I'm going to be able to pull Christmas out. I'm not going to be able to do it. But a miracle happens, and for some reason, I managed to make Christmas great.
Yeah.
Whether it's for you guys or for her, I managed to do it. But every year, around this time, like I am now, I'm panicking. Am I going to have enough money to do this? Am I going to be able to get everything I want done? Am I going to be able to give my family and my loved ones a good Christmas? Mm-hmm. But every year, I managed to pull it out. So I need to believe in that miracle.
Yeah.
And to me, that's Santa Claus.
So back on the topic of movies.
Yeah.
Elf, I feel, is overplayed and not really that funny to begin with.
I'd
I'd rather watch the Santa Claus than Elf over and over again.
I like Elf just because I kind of like a little bit of the cheesy humor. But our daughter loves it. That's why.
Yeah, she loves it.
She calls it Buddy the Elf. She doesn't call it Elf. She just calls it Buddy the Elf.
We have Jingle All the Way so we can get Jamie a Turbo Man.
No, I've never seen it. I've only ever seen bits and pieces of it. I can't stand Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
though.
not even a little bit.
No. You know what I love? Bad Mom's Christmas.
Bad Mom's Christmas. I don't even think I've seen that one all the way through. I've just
I
kinda
love it.
heard it from the
It's
other
dirty
room.
and raunchy, but it's funny. But it shows how much mothers really make Christmas special for their families and how much hard work we put into it. And that there's points where we just want to give the fuck up. We don't want to do it.
No.
You know, and then we're forced to because there's another mother, like our own moms. My mom's not like that, but, you know, my mom would probably relate to it as the younger mom against her mom because my grandmother was a Christmas machine, you know, like everything had to be perfect. But I mean, it shows the craziness of it and it shows how, yeah, you can kind of downplay it. And they have a fight in the middle of it, or at Christmas Eve, they have a huge fight. And then at the end, though, they come together as a family and they have a beautiful Christmas. And even their friends have the same problems with their mothers. It's good, but it's hilarious. And if it's one of those ones you just want a good movie to laugh at, but have Christmas at the same time, and you have to have a really good sense of humor and not get offended by anything, especially very large penises. You need to, yeah, that's a good movie to watch. Done why.
Mm-hmm. So in the darkest depths of the internet, you can still find the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yes.
Yeah. Not in its entirety because apparently the cartoon part got removed, but you can find most of the rest of it.
Dude, it's on Disney Channel.
The Holiday Special? They put it on Disney?
Yeah, Ewoks Holiday Special?
No.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the Ewoks. Yeah.
But this one's the... No, it's with the Wookiees.
Or, yeah, sorry, the Wookiee Life Day.
Wookiees.
No, the Wookiee one isn't on.
Oh, that's
no,
the Wookiee
no.
one is the one we're talking about.
Brave Ewok one, and then there's the Christmas Ewok one, right? There's the two Ewok movies.
Yeah.
They're on there.
Oh, okay.
The one
no.
we're talking about has B. Arthur and Harvey Korman in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were Wookiees.
George Lucas doesn't like it when
they
you
have to-
talk about this.
They have to
one,
bring
and I love
Chewbacca
it.
back to be with his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Featuring Carrie Fisher.
B. Arthur.
1974 Denver Broncos.
It was pretty bad, but I still like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good. I love B. Arthur for one.
I love B. Arthur.
The dry humor she has is right up my alley.
I can't wait for the B. Arthur Christmas ornament from Hallmark because I have Rose Nyland, Betty White from Golden Girls I got last year, and I'm getting Rue McClanahan as Blanche Devereaux this year.
I was surprised to see that one come out of the boxes to this year. I'm like, holy crap, we have Betty White.
So I can't wait to get B. Arthur and Estelle Getty, so I have my Golden Girl collection on my tree.
Well, I am
I
a
love
strong
B. Arthur
believer
and Estelle
that
Getty.
every Christmas tree should have a Betty White. Because,
Well, that's why I put her near the top.
Yeah.
She's like our angel.
Yeah, because Betty White don't give up on nobody.
Betty
so.
White is the fucking bomb. I love that woman.
She was old when she did freaking...
They were in their 50s. So careful, Betty.
How old is she now?
She'll be 100 in January.
I know Betty White from the Mayor Tyler Moore Show, man.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, and I'm not talking syndication.
Yeah. She was also on Mama's Family. So was Rue McClanahan.
She goes way further back, though. Betty White did black and white stuff
Yeah.
when she first
I
started.
think they all did.
Yeah, well, yeah. What other Christmas stuff?
Shit.
Specials and crap, you know? I think I
What about
finished
Harold
this
and Kumar's Christmas?
What about Christmas albums? You know, Tammy Wynette, Winona Ryder. We're not doing. No.
Oh, can I tell the Perry Homo?
That might be a different one. What?
Can I tell the Perry Homo story that I told you in the car?
I don't remember.
So Peter might appreciate this. When my brother and I were little, my mom had this album of Perry Como. And it was a Christmas album, and she used to put it on. Adam and I used to just dread this album. So we called him Perry Homo, because back then you didn't know better, right?
It
turns out my brother is gay. But he would come on and he would sing, and he'd be like, Silent Night. He would like turn a 2-minute song into like a 10-minute forward. And it was not because of orchestra and stuff. It's just because he sang so fucking slow. So sometimes we called him Perry Slow-Mo as well. We hated this album so much that my mom's like, I'm not going to put it on anymore. And we're like, yes, because we complained so often. I wonder if my brother remembers that. that we hated that album. We just used to make fun of how slowly he sang. I mean, he was your crooner, but he wasn't the good crooner. No.
No, you didn't like him.
No. No, or even Bing. Like, Bing Crosby is Mr. Christmas.
I did like the Grinch movie with Jim Carrey.
I hated it.
I loved it.
Hated it.
I like Jim Carrey. So
hated it. Hate him.
You guys just hate it because you hate Jim Carrey.
No, I don't hate Jim Carrey.
I don't hate Jim Carrey. I just find him overdone.
Oh.
He was way over the top.
I think the big problem for me in the Grinch movie is they took a Dr. Seuss novel and it wasn't long enough to fill out an hour and a half slot for a movie. So they added this whole front story, which just really didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, the little kid part and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And if I ever hear that Faith Hill song again, I'm going to hang myself.
Oh, you'll probably hear it.
I've managed to avoid it thus far.
We're not up to Christmas yet.
I've been listening to Christmas music, though, for a month.
Yeah.
And I've managed to avoid it.
Yeah, I think that covers most of the
I'm trying to think.
Christmas
There's got to be
stuff.
something else. Okay,
Oh,
so,
there's
like, I
all
like some of
kinds
the
of something
Flintstones
else.
Christmas. Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Mr.
yeah.
Bean has one of the best
Yeah.
Christmas specials. The ones they show on TV is edited. They're missing parts of that.
Oh, I know. Because
There's a part where he gets when he gets the turkey and how he weighs it, because it's guess the weight of the turkey. He puts a scale down that the guy doesn't see, weighs himself, and then stands on it with the turkey, and then guesses does the math and guesses the turkey weight, and that's how he gets the turkey. And then instead of wrapping it, he just throws it bare turkey in the back of his trunk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that show that they cut out for TV because it's too long. And I think some of it was the best parts.
I always felt it was never long enough.
Oh, I know. And our daughter loves it too.
Mrs. Brown's
Brown's Boys,
special.
yes.
Oh, the one show that had more Christmas specials than
Anybody?
seasons?
Yeah.
Than seasons.
Than seasons.
Yeah, she had 2 Christmas specials
Well,
one
she's
year.
had like 3 or 4.
In 1 year?
No, but they do about 2 a year.
2 Christmas specials. Why would you have 2 Christmas specials?
Because Christmas is awesome.
Have Christmas. Well, then again, we're doing all December Christmas, essentially.
Yeah. That was my idea.
Well, we did all October Halloween,
Halloween,
so why not? We did my holiday, now we'll do yours.
Yeah. But Christmas songs, I think, and Christmas music in general should be different. Holiday Inn was the very first movie with Bing Crosby and I think Frank Sinatra. No, I'm not too sure. That actually was the very first time White Christmas was ever heard by Irving Berlin. Was on Holiday Inn. Lucy, get away from the tree. Cats and trees, people. Cats and trees. Not a good combo.
Get going.
Dogs, they
Move
just
your
sniff
butt.
it once and leave it alone the rest of the year. Or rest of the time.
Oh, I think now she farted.
Did
Either
you
that or Duncan's
did
is
you
walking
squeeze her
over
too
here.
hard?
I might have.
That's usually Alexa. If you squeeze, she farts.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so they play their cat.
Oh, I can smell it still.
Here, Alexa, I need to cuddle you.
I don't think it's me. I wiped.
Oh, no, cat's smelling Duncan's ass, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Duncan farted.
Yeah, Duncan farted and Lucy found it, and now she thinks he
Lucy,
needs his bum
Lucy,
cleaned.
Lucy, get out of Duncan's bum. I don't know which end is your dog right now. Okay, so... Okay, but still...
She's like, wow.
I hope Duncan bites
She's
you.
like, you need that cleaned right now.
That's what she's doing. She's cleaning his asshole.
No, don't let him clean his...
She's trying to. But I think she's trying to move things to get to it. Lucy, stop it. Duncan, kick her.
Duncan don't care.
Oh my God. Pets, people, pets. See, hers determined. No, hers determined. She wants to
Sarah,
clean this
kick her
dog.
away. You got soft things on it. She'll bite you. That was funny.
She hissed, people. She's a bitch. She's
Uh,
a cuddly bitch, but she's a bitch.
Scooby-Doo, I think, had a
Scooby-Doo
special.
had Nutcracker
if not two.
Scoob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that on DVD. The Flintstones had a couple specials.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know about anyone else, but my family every year goes to the Nutcracker Ballet.
Like the Russian... Lucy! Get out of his bum!
I haven't seen it.
Are you talking about the
I
one,
know of it,
the
but-
traditional, the nice
Yeah.
one with the The 5-hour one where there's murder and stuff?
No, the next
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that was actually part of the Bad Mom's Christmas.
And it was made an animated special, which I really enjoyed.
Anyway, I just hope the dog bites a cat.
I think that'll probably do most of it. If you guys are looking for a little more Mystery Matt, check out the Mystery Matt fan club. I don't think the "the's" in it. I think it just says Mystery Matt fan club.
Yeah, it's Mystery Matt fan club on Facebook.
Yeah, there's no T. There's no "the."
And on the Twitter, it's Mystery Matt with 1 T at the end, followed by the number 1.
Awesome.
Oh, doggy.
Like I said, once we get the Buy Me a Coffee account working, we'll let you guys know about that. Till then, the podcast is on the house. Commercial free and on the house. No need to subscribe. Yeah, I said the holiday special, so I can stroke that one off. That was the last one. And I may or may not be recording a version of The Night Before Christmas, depending on if I can find a public domain version, which I believe.
Books.
Yes. However, those books have been published, and those have different copyright laws than the original one, which is in the public domain.
But doesn't there have to be like X amount of years before they become...
Yes.
So maybe one of those is old enough that you can read it without...
Not if it's been published recently, because they do little changes, and if it's been published in the past, what was it, 50 years? I think they have 50 years or so.
Oh, well, this was a Hallmark one, so who knows?
Maybe it's 100 years. I don't know.
I think this one it doesn't even have
But
one.
the original one...
All I know is that it's Hallmark.
Actually, if you look at the back, it'll tell you right there. That version should be free.
This one?
Yeah. Is that the one that... Does it say it was in the one newspaper?
I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
I should say it was in... Can I see it for a second? What we got here? The poem published anonymously in 1823, not attributed to an author, and then it's a collection of Moore's verse in 1844. So this one is, I believe, yeah, it's definitely in public domain because it was in the 1820s.
Then you can read that one.
Yeah, I guess I probably could. As long as none of it's been rewritten. Hallmark Children's Edition. Oh, see, that's where they've got you changed up. It's the Hallmark Children's Edition. So
this
it
one
might
is
be
1998, so you can't read this one.
This might be in the style of the original, but because it says a Hallmark Children's Edition, that means that they've changed things so
I know that
it's
book's
now
close to at least 40 years.
Oh, probably has it written somewhere. But anyways, if we can find a domain-free version, all rights reserved. Doesn't say.
I'll look. Yeah. I'll look up online.
Yeah, if we find one, then we'll let you guys know, and I'll let you know when you can find it, and especially if you join the fan club, because I add the stuff there as it comes out, so you might even be able to find it faster if you're part of the Facebook group. Anyways, I've been Mystery Matt, and you guys have an awesome evening.